The transition game is one of the trickiest things tennis players have to deal with because there's so many different options that come along with trying to get from the baseline to the net. Do you let the ball bounce? Do you take it high? Do you take it low? Do you switch to your forehand grip from continental? There's all these little things that can cloud your thought process and lead to a bunch of unforced errors in a position where you should be controlling the point. In today's video, I'm going to help clear a bunch of that stuff out and help you guys get from the baseline to the net in the most clean and efficient way possible. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get started with today's video. So the first thing we want to look at when we're moving from the baseline to the net is how much time do you have? Now, the reason we're going to be looking at time is most people get themselves in trouble because they want to go for a more aggressive shot, and it's not always going to be available. The main reason why we want to look at time first is if you choose to go with a shot that takes up a lot of your time and your opponent takes that time away, you're going to have the unforced error in a position where you could have just kept it simple and gotten closer and put more pressure on them. So I say that if the ball goes high, that's going to be the only time where you're going to be looking to really load up, stop your weight here, and then go for the shot. Any other scenario, we're going to be trying to get to the net as cleanly and quickly as possible so that we just keep the pressure on that side of the net and force them to come up with a good shot. Now, the way we do that is by keeping our hands in front of us, going with a continental grip or your forehand grip when you're in this area, but no real backswings. So let's say my opponent gives me a short ball. I'm moving in and I'm just setting my racket at this position, pushing that ball through the court to push them back off the court and allow myself to get closer. And I can do that with a forehand grip or a continental grip as long as I keep the ball low and through the court. If we're not going to be in that position and we're looking to set it up here, then that'll open up other spaces on the court. But the main thing we're looking at right now is keep that pressure on them by setting the racket quick, pushing the ball through the court, and that allows my momentum to continue. And because my momentum continues, I'm getting closer to them faster than if I had stopped, hit the ball hard, and then had to start running again. So switching to this angle here, if I had just hit a good ball from the baseline, let's just assume I'm hitting the backhand, I'm going to be looking for my opponent to show me some signs of stress, and then from there, my momentum is immediately going to go forward. I'm not going to wait to see what shot they're getting. I'm going to just move in and then deal with what I'm dealing with. So let's say I'm just going to shadow a backhand here, and then that ball comes at me right after that ball comes in. I'd already be moving in, keep that simple, and push it through. Now, I'm using a continental grip, but I could just as easily change it to a forehand. So I'll shadow that one more time. I'll just go backhand here, forehand grip, right through the court, and keep my momentum going. By the time I hit that ball and got to my finish, I was already about 4 feet closer to my opponent. That's going to keep the clean transition going. That is way easier and easy to execute than this option here, where I hit that shot, run in, try to stop, and then go hard. Because now I have to do a lot of adjusting, let the ball come to me, which keeps me back here, and then generate my own pace, which is way more challenging when your body weight is static. So switching it to the tactical side, we've already covered what technique to use. Our next job is going to be, what do we try to do to our opponent? On our first touch of the transition shot, we want to go with one of two options depending on the situation. We either want to go deep down the line, which is where that box is sitting right there. Oh God, I overshot it really bad. Deep down the line, there we go. We're going to try and push it there. Or we want to go deep center, which would be about right there where Emily is. Now, the reason we want to go deep center is that takes away the angles of passing us. The reason we want to go deep line is that gives us a predictable place to set up on the court. If I go deep line over to the deuce side, which is right there, I'm going to place myself about right here, which allows me to cover the net in one big step that way and cover in one big step that way. If I put the ball deep center, Emily can obviously go one side or the other, but her spacing is pretty small because, again, in one step, I can go all the way out, and now that forces her to try to get outside of those locations. So switching it to the opposite angle, you're just going to see the transition shot to the follow-up shot. Now, the follow-up shot, no matter what I do, I want to get that next one off the court and keep that pressure on my opponent. So if I go deep over there, then I'm going to try and go deep over there. And if I go deep center, then obviously my next ball would go to the outsides. So to demonstrate this exercise, I'm just going to have Emily feed the ball. I'm going to run forward no matter what. The reason why is this is just me imitating if I had hit a good shot and my opponent's giving me their rally ball or the defensive ball back. My job is going to be to quickly evaluate what shot I need. Now, if I am running with my racket already in front of me like this, that allows me to track the ball at different heights as it's moving towards me. So let's say I decide I'm going to take it out of the air instead of off of the ground. I can just run with my racket here. If I have to let it bounce first, I would just drop my hands without really having to change too much technique of what's going on. So by having the racket already in front of me, I'm going to be able to just kind of make quick last-second adjustments and then move forward. So now here's a couple of examples where all Emily's going to do is just give me her first ball, and I'm going to just run through it and get to the net as quickly as possible. So I'm running, quick adjustment to the hands right there, but I'm already in position to cover the next shot. Take that one out of the air and take it there. Now I have no idea what shot Emily's giving me. I'm just adjusting based off of whatever it is. And again, I'm imagining that I had already hit a good shot in the back, and my job would just be to take up as much space as I can quickly. The only thing that's going to hurt me is if I stop and give my opponent more time. Hands out in front, push the ball deep middle this time. Easy cover. She had no angle to work with, which makes it easier for me to cover the bigger spaces. Hands out in front, half volley, over there. And I just keep it moving. By the way, this is the thing I try to tell everybody. Time is one of your biggest weapons and assets if you know how to use it. Me stepping in to right here takes time away from my opponent as long as I don't slow my shot down. I just hit a winner down the line in a continental grip because she couldn't react because I was close. Not because the shot was impressive, but because I kept the ball low, which took her time away. I kept the ball deep, which took her time away. And I was inside the court, which took her time away. Keep your shots simple and they'll be repeatable. And if they're repeatable, they're going to be more effective because you're going to be able to know what's most likely to come back from your opponent. That's going to wrap up today's video, guys. I hope it was helpful. If you know anybody who would benefit from this, send it off to them as always. And again, thank you to everybody to help us get to 12K. Don't forget, and I posted an announcement about this today. Road to 11 is going to be starting officially this week. We were having some editing issues, and we were also having some things we were trying to figure out how we wanted to format the video, but all that's taken care of. So look forward to episode 1 of Road to 11. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one.